Uh, Peace and love reflections. So today, um, let the room get a little bit full, but we're going to talk about fighting anxiety. I've had a few people I've seen on my timeline lately. I've had some people contact me dealing with anxiety attacks, things of this nature. But I just want to give you guys some of the tools that I've found that works. Um, when you start dealing with like anxiety and things of this nature, that can help to bring you back into like a positive state, a better realm. So when we talk about anxiety, usually anxiety we have to see what it starts with. Anxiety starts with worrying about things that are going on outside of your general vicinity, right? So when I talk about anxiety, it's usually about things that I can't really control, things that are out of my control. I'm worrying about them, right? So when you're dealing with anxiety, the first thing that you have to start to try and realize and start to get into your mind is that if I'm dealing with anxiety, I'm dealing with this because I can't control it. It's something that I have no control over, and most of the time it's something that's not near us. There's nothing around us, or we wouldn't be feeling anxiety. We'd be feeling defensive, something like this, or distraught. There'd be a different feeling connotation, right? So when you're dealing with anxiety, it's usually nothing that's in your general vicinity. It's something that's away from you, something in the future. You're worrying about something that hasn't come yet, right? So one of the first key things and the key process to go through when you're in anxiety, right? Everyone knows is breathing, right? So breathing in, deep breaths in the nose, out the mouth, those are simple, right? That's the simple thing, the first thing, right? That's your first go-to, right? You get anxiety, start breathing in, start counting your breaths, do your thing, right? Get into a more calm space. Now, once you've gotten yourself into a calm space, here's the key, right? The key is to go around the room that you're in, right? And name things to yourself that you can touch. Name things to yourself that you can see. Name things to yourself that feel comfortable to you. Name things that you might be able to taste or eat, right? Show yourself that within your perspective environment, there's nothing that can harm you, right? So, anxiety, like we talked about earlier, is worrying about things and things that are in the future, not around you, things that you haven't come into your reality yet, all these different things. Worrying about old things. The easiest way is to ground, right? Ground yourself in the environment that you're in at the moment, right? Take some time out, look around yourself, tell yourself that you have control over your space, right? by doing that you're going to be naming off things that you have in your space. So if I have a pillow, there's a pillow here that I could feel I could lay my head on. I have control over this. I have control over these certain things. Now, once you start to regain control, you'll start to feel like your breath, everything comes a lot more calm, right? Because you take your mind away from that future point. Now, what is anxiety when you think about it? Anxiety is when you try and remove yourself from the moment, right? So if we think about thoughts, right? You can travel with your thought, right? So if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about India or I'm thinking about Rome, like my mind is technically traveling there, right? So you get anxiety when your mind travels to a problem that your body isn't ready to handle yet or capable to do anything about in where your space is. So if I'm sitting in this room right now, but I'm thinking and stressing about something that's coming up, right? I'm moving my mind to a different place that my body can't do anything about right now, right? So that's why we have to start to remember that if it's not in your direct environment, if it's not in your personal circle, in your space, there's not too much that you can worry about it. You can only do what you can do. But worrying and placing your mind to that place usually is going to lead to anxiety because a lot of us aren't even in a good position where we're at now, right? And stable and stern and like steady where we are in life now to be able to put our mind in a stressful position in the future, right? So it's also about where your environment's at, right? If I'm out and I'm in a comfy spot and stuff like that, I could start thinking about future things and future plans and things of this nature because in that environment that I'm in, I'm stable. However, once we're in an unstable environment, where we're at and we try and place our mind to another unstable environment, we're going to create anxiety, right? So the easiest way to come back and get yourself back to zero and ground level again is take your deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, right? Very simple practice, right? Work on the exchange. Second, go around your room and point out things to yourself that you can touch, feel, see, taste, smell. Let yourself know that you're not where your mind's at, where you're worried. Let yourself know that you're in a safe environment that you have control over. Once you realize that you still have that control again, that control is yours, you'll start to be able to see that you can calm yourself down and take yourself out of that anxiety attack, right? Anxiety attack is just putting your place in a position, and your mind in a position that it has no power over, right? By putting it in the future, putting it in places where your body can't then jump in, because when you trigger your fight or flight in your body, like if I'm worried about a bill that's coming up, my body's trying to defend me from a bill or something like that. So I trigger that fight or flight in me. However, if I can't, I'm not in a position to like pay the bill, right? Is there any reason for me to worry about it? No, I can know it's coming, but I can't worry. Like, am I going to do it? Am I not? No, if you will, you will. If you don't, you don't. But you just got to make sure that you do what you need to do to get yourself there, right? Because more about being. You got to be. When we worry and send our mind places, we got to be responsible for where our mind goes. That's what thinking is. Thinking is just moving your mind to different places. We don't think that we have this power to travel and all this stuff, but you do. It's just in your thought, right? I can be in another place. But it's just about understanding what is in that environment that I'm sending my mind to. If I'm sending my mind to a place to worry about things, I got to be ready in this environment where I'm at and stable in that environment to take on that worry, right? So do your worry, like do your planning, do all of your future thoughts and like all that stuff when you're in calm environments, right? If you're getting ready to pay your bills for a month or trying to figure that out, make sure you're in a calm environment when you do it, right? If that's what you're going to do, if that's how you got to do it, make sure the environment's calm. Make sure there's calming music so that when you're sending your mind and your thoughts into this worrisome environment, this shaky environment, at least you're grounded in a comfortable environment. You're grounded in a comfortable setting. You don't want to be sending your mind to a place that's frantic while your body's in a frantic environment, because those two things are key, right? I have to be in a good place in order to be able to even fathom a little bit of a sketchy place. But if I'm not even in a good place where I'm at, I shouldn't be trying to then think about more things that are going to add stress onto where I'm at. Worry about one thing at a time, right? Just this was only coming because there's been a lot of people dealing with a lot of stress lately. You got to be aware, right? We got to be aware. People who are living in the north with like the change of the seasons, right? We got the sun moving away a little bit longer. It's getting colder. Days are getting shorter. It's a lot more dark, right? You got to do more. Do more to keep yourself in a good mood. Eat more good food. Eat more healthy food. Don't go into that whole feeling where now it's getting cold, you're going to eat a bunch of like crappy food, all that kind of stuff, and get like ready to hibernate, right? Eat more good food. Eat more nutritious food right now, right? A lot of the like hormones and mood swings you're going through are part of the food you eat. Be mindful of what you're eating. These things all help with anxiety, right? Anxiety is something that a lot of people are dealing with. I get a lot of different messages about anxiety. A lot of people coming out and having these open problems, like be mindful, right? If I know my food has hormone disruptors in it and I suffer from anxiety, should I eat the food with the hormones? You know what I mean? I shouldn't. I should be mindful. Right? So keep yourself mindful, especially with the change of the seasons, right? Change of the seasons, less sun, less vitamin D, hurts your mood, right? If I'm eating more food and like get into hibernation mode, my body's gonna be working more to digest the food, right? So now I'm at a disease. Less energy, right? Worse mood. Worrying about bills, worrying about all this stuff that you don't have if I know I only have $5 in my account, am I gonna think about paying a $300 bill in 2 weeks? No. Save it. Go figure out how to get the $300 or how that's going to come to you. Think about how that's going to come to you and stop worrying about the bill. The bill's gonna be there no matter what. You just gotta worry about the $5, right? And how to make that into 3. Don't worry about the bill, because that's what we do. We worry about all this stuff. No, just focus on one thing. What do I need in order to get? I don't need to worry about the bill. The bill's not going to. What do I need to worry about so that the bill, it doesn't affect me? Let me worry about that first, right? Stop putting our minds in all these different places. Get yourself set where you are. Build your foundation, build your structure, build your sanctuary where you're at before you start trying to move your mind to all different kind of places. But just a quick check-in. Just figure I talk on that. I've had, like, again, I think that's because of the change of the weather, right? I think this weather change has gotten people a little bit off. With like the movement of the sun and all that stuff, people are getting a little bit more into their emotions, right? But we just got to know how to understand it, right? You got to know how to move your mind properly. If I'm going to be thinking and planning and doing these things, I got to make sure where I'm at, I'm stable and safe. Or you might make yourself get an anxiety attack, right? So it's about the process. Learn the process, right? Know your body. Don't eat processed either. Learn the process. Don't eat processed, and you'll be okay, right? So with that being said, love and light. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.